There's a horror story that I found out after the show. Something happened in the HOH.
Look, Nikki, the reason I voted you out was solely for your benefit.
Something happened in the HOH
Wait, say what?
that didn't involve any oral action.
Clearly that's why they cut the feeds all the time. I mean, how did they... What?
The sheets had to all be changed. Let's just put it that way.
You only have one thing to drink. What is it gonna be?
Unicorn piss.
Yoda batch.
Hey everybody, and welcome to our final Big Brother Canada 4 post-season interviews with arguably your favorite Tim. But first, let me let you guys know, if you are watching this show back in YouTube, you can click on these buttons, thumbs up and subscribe. That really helps support our shows. iTunes, 5-star rating, and a nice review is pretty awesome too. If you want to support our shows and everything that we're doing, consider becoming a patron. Or if you are a Big Brother fan, get your feeds from us at yourrealityrecaps.com/feeds. And if you want to be a feed updater, you can do that at yourrealityrecaps.com/bb18updaters. But enough about all that. You guys know the deal. Let's get to who you want to hear from now, from the other side of the world. So, you know, get ready. It's Tim!
Hello, how are we? Or I should say g'day, mate.
You should say, oh, should I try and do my horrible Australian accent, Tim?
Yes,
Get on.
do it.
Tim, I have a serious question. What is it like in the future?
I know, we're like a day ahead.
You're like a day ahead of us.
The future is brilliant. Yeah, we've burnt Twitter. So this is all going to come crashing down. There's no more internet in the future. So in about, I don't know what I'm trying to do, but no, that doesn't happen. The future's great.
The future is great. Now, Tim, I wanted you to feel very comfortable here. I want you to feel very comfortable on the show. So I have done some decorating for you. I have brought in koalas and Australian flags for you. Exactly. There you go. And most importantly, I brought in your dog. Your new dog, Maple.
Oh my God, that looks exactly like her. Well, Meatloaf is annoying me. He's jumping up at my feet, but Maple's in the little puppy pen in the other room. Do you want me to go get her and say good day and put her back to bed?
No, you can let her sleep. You don't have to wake her.
Okay, all right.
Well, Tim, you know what I do have? I got Maple right here.
Oh, she's so cute. Except her tongue is like always hanging out. I think she's a little bit special. But I am too, so it's suits.
It is perfect, Tim. Now, you got Maple and obviously named her after Canada, correct? Or inspired by?
I'd love to take credit for I'd love to take credit for her name, but I put it out there on Twitter and I can't remember who it was, but someone came up with that suggestion. I thought it was perfect because she's the colour of maple syrup and we ate maple syrup so much on Big Brother in the BB Can Grand. Whenever we were on slop, that was the only way to make it edible, was to kind of put maple syrup all over it. So it is a little bit of a salute, high five to Canada. Yeah.
Tim, I thought you were going to say you were eating your dog, and I was going to say not good.
Yeah.
But
she does eat her poo.
Oh. They make little drops you can put in the food for that, Tim. And then the dog won't eat the poo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's
they do.
puppy poo. It stinks. It's gross. Drowning in it. Mate,
well, I have questions about that,
annoying.
but no, not annoying. They love it. Let me let everybody know this too. And Tim, you already did this, but the #1 fan on this show is going to win Tim's autograph.
Wow.
Yes, the #1 fan, and And I'll let you know who that is. And anybody that also shares this show right now on Twitter, megaphone square up arrow, anybody that does that will also win a Tim autographed. Just make sure that you guys are a fan. You can start leaving your questions in the chat room or tweeting us them with hashtag YRRLive. Now, Tim, I want to get something out of the way right away. One of our first interviews this season was with Nikki. And Nikki may have alluded to you being a little grumpy bear. And may have said, like, you know, I don't know. I feel like she created internet drama for a hot second. So I want to give you the floor to say anything that you want to say about that, even because you guys are best friends, right?
We are. I spoke with Nikki yesterday. We FaceTimed each other and chatted for hours. And I said to her, look, she's one of my best friends out of that show. And I think Nikki and I are very similar, and we're both hot-tempered. And I think with her, it was always like you're waiting for the next big tantrum to happen. And we didn't end on good terms on the show. Like, I could have just thrown her a vote to show my loyalty to her in terms of friendship. But, I mean, she was never a game player. She just didn't understand the strategy of it. I've got Joel trying to call me now. Joel, hang up. I'm chatting to him later.
Joel.
So, yeah, I think she left a bit angry.
Well, is it all good now, though, Tim? It's all good now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, all very good now. I want to know what she was saying about me, the little turd. She probably came out and was like, I hate Tim. I'm not grumpy. I just speak my mind. I'm bossy. I'll give her that, but I'm not grumpy.
Well, she didn't say grumpy. That was me paraphrasing. And like you said, it's all good. Okay. It's all good. It's all good now, Tim. Do you actually have a Nikki impression, Tim? Because she did an impression of you. I don't know if you're aware that she did an impression of you, but she does a good Tim impression. I'll give you full screen if you have a Nikki impression.
Oh, my favourite Nikki was the troll monster that came out in the spa area, the hot tub troll. I hate everyone! Oh, get me out of this asylum! She spent half of her life in an asylum. You'd think that she'd handle the Big Brother house. I shouldn't say that.
Oh, you meant the Big Brother house. You meant the Big Brother house.
Yes, she's been in the Big Brother house many times before.
Right, exactly, Tim. You know what? I wonder, we have a fun game to play with you, Tim, and I wonder if we should play it now? I think we should play it now, actually.
Yeah,
I think it'll break. Okay. Right. Let's play this game now. Now, Tim, I was preparing for you, well, the questions are rolling in. I was preparing for you with this show. I figured I needed to learn some Aussie words. So I thought we could play a fun word association with the chat room and with everybody. So I have an Aussie word, and then you can tell me who in the cast maybe it relates to. Okay, and you can tell me if you can tell me if I'm saying the word wrong as well, because I probably will. Okay. First up is maggot. which I'm being told means extremely drunk. So who would a maggot be this season?
Nikki or me. I think what we learnt was that Canadians really don't drink or party as hard as Australians and pommies. We call pommies like people from UK. Me and Nikki went hard very fast, and we got in a lot of trouble off Big Brother, and there were tears, and we got maggot a lot.
Interesting. Okay, and we only have 6 words. But I picked 6 good ones. Okay. Here's, is it daggy?
Daggy.
Daggy, which means uncool. And by the way, Tim, are Crocs uncool?
We have, like, Crocs with socks is, like, the ultimate no-no. I love Crocs. They're so practical. You wear them down the beach. They can get wet. And they're very kind of comfortable, but they're not very cool. They're very daggy. Daggy is the word. I'd say the daggiest house guest would be definitely Joel with that purple polo that was just like showed off his midriff like it came out. I wanted to take that home, but he wouldn't let me. He wouldn't let me have it.
Somebody stole a shirt of yours. Maybe it was Maddie. I feel
Yeah.
like Maddie told us she
Yeah.
stole one
The
of your
koala one. At first she was like, "Oh, can I have this?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I could get you one in your size." And she said, "Okay, I'll give you this back." And then it was the week that we were both on the block, and she was really lovely to me, and she borrowed my fake tan as well. She tanned all herself. And then like it just changed within the hour. She turned into this little troll monster where she then went around to everyone saying why they should keep her, not me. And I was just thinking, I gave you my t-shirt. I gave you my tan. Now you're like, oh, yeah. So she took the t-shirt and ran. My koala t-shirt.
Your koala t-shirt. Lisa D. Ginger Snaps in the chat room says it was liberated, not stolen. Next word is gammon, which is to be fake or to pretend. Is it gammon? Is that right?
I've not heard of that one, but it says that it was Aboriginal. So if it was Indigenous, yeah, maybe. It sounds like an Indigenous word. But to be fake, okay, who's fake? Cassandra.
Ooh.
But she knows that I think that. Like, that's what her best quality was, that she was able to kind of seduce people and put on this front.
Right.
And I could do that, but I didn't want to do it. Like, I just didn't want to do that, and I needed to work with someone that could, and she was the best at it. So, yeah, Cassandra wins being the most gammon.
Interesting. Okay, get ready. They're going to get a touch harder now. I love this word. Chunderous? Vomit-inducing, Tim. Who is chunderous and vomit-inducing?
Yeah, when you vomit, you say you had a chunder in Australia. So I would definitely say Dallas. God, like, I would look over and he'd be lying on his bed with stuff hanging out that you just didn't want to see. Or he'd get nude a bit. Like, he was the first to get nude in a dare. And yeah. Oh, remember when Cassandra did a shot out of his belly button?
Ugh. Unfortunately.
I kissed Cassandra's mouth. Yuck. Dallas was very chunderous.
Okay, now I did not even know this one. I did not even know this was an Australian word. I use it all the time. Wowzer? Wowzer is an Australian word, which is someone who doesn't like other people having fun. I've been using wowzer wrong this whole time, too.
What did you think wowzer meant?
Like, yay, this is fun. Like, wowzer, that was fun. Okay, so who?
It's like a killjoy, like a party pooper. Do you know what? I would pick off the top of my mind, Jared. Remember that spin the bottle night where he chucked a little tanty, a little fit, because he didn't want everyone kissing and he had morals, and it was like, no, what would my parents think? So, yeah, he was a bit of a killjoy. He played by the rules. Whenever someone broke the rules, Big Brother would call Jared into the diary room. Like, I snuck lollies into the house, and they called Jared in and made Jared go and collect them. And, like, they'd always get Jared to just, like, he was the teacher's pet because he always followed the rules.
Interesting. All right, Tim, I can't believe we're going here for the last two, but we have to. Okay. We all need to learn Australian words. I'm trying to think how I'm going to word it. I'm just going to go with this. Tim, wristy. A wristy is a hand job, Tim, a wristy. So yep. I'm gonna do it this way. Hey, I didn't make it. It's from BuzzFeed. Okay, so everyone write your complaints to BuzzFeed. I'm gonna do it this way. Is there anyone in the house who you saw getting a wristy?
I didn't see any wristies in action, but there was one person in particular who comes to mind who is famous for being associated with that kind of under the duvet kind of action with a few different guys. And I was sleeping in the bed next to her for most of my time in the BB Grand, and that's Maddie. But she was the one that had a boyfriend on the outside world, so I don't know what kind of deal that they had. But yeah, I think
interesting.
There was a few wristies being given out, and she did admit that on the show. So I'm not
right. No, she did
giving away anything that wasn't public knowledge. So
okay, now last word is gobby.
Oh.
Which gobby is apparently a blowjob. So Tim, Did you see any gobbies happening when you were in the house?
No, I also did not see any gobbies. But again, I would put Maddie and Ramsey in that. No, I shouldn't. I don't know. Unconfirmed.
They're good.
I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah. There's a horror story that I found out after the show. Something happened in the HOH bed and the sheets had to all be changed. Let's just put it that way. But it didn't involve any oral action.
Okay. So there was no gobbling. I mean, gobby.
I don't think there was gobbling, no gobbies.
Tim, my favorite is when you say HOH. I can't even do it. I try and do it.
HOH.
I love it. It's my favorite.
HOH.
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 All right, love it. Abby Love One over on Twitter, Tim, wants to know, Tim, we saw you in Big Brother Australia grow as a person, and we loved it. Was there any deja vu moments from you that you have in the BB Can house? So is there any moments that you feel like you really grew from?
Do you know what? It was a constant kind of walk down memory lane. I never watched my season of us in Australia, and I don't think I'll watch the Canadian season either. I like kind of separating my memory of it. It's kind of like when you love a book and then you go watch the movie and it's just not as good. For me, Big Brother was this real life experience. The show that you guys watched was just a producer's interpretation of my journey. And so there was constant moments where I was just kind of like, and I just remember one most heartfelt moment, which you wouldn't have seen because it wasn't live feeds, was finale night. And we were kind of the emotions were just so high. And I remember walking downstairs in the lounge room and just kind of taking the house in. And I remembered my finale night in Australia. And if you've seen the video, I just cried my eyes out. It's very, very embarrassing. But I had a little tear to myself and I said, goodbye to Big Brother, because I don't know if I'll ever be back in the Big Brother house again. And it was just really special where I remembered that feeling of finale night. And I thought someone tonight is going to get that dream come true moment that I'll never forget. And it was just that rush. I'll never forget. Always, whenever I watch a reality TV finale, whatever it is, Survivor, American Idol, whatever, I cry because I remember that moment of your dream coming true. And the brothers got that. And I've already had it. So it really took me back there that night. And I kind of walked around the BB Can Grand and sort of went, there's something very special about this experience. I'm getting a bit worked up now. Anyway, so that was, yeah.
But aren't you going back? Because Sandra told us that you are planning a trip to go back, not back to the house, that you're planning a trip to go back to Canada to kind of...
Yes, absolutely. Definitely coming back to Canada. I think there's maybe talk in August or maybe longer over Christmas, New Year's. But that's when it's freezing cold. But I've always wanted to have a white Christmas. I've never done that. Because it's hot. I'm at the beach on Christmas Day here in Australia.
That is on Christmassy.
Yeah.
One of our patrons, Tim, Christy Berg, wants to know, Tim, we love your hair, but for all of us girls with the curly hair, how on earth do you do it? What magic in a bottle are you using?
Unicorn piss. No.
Oh, well, there you go. How much does that cost?
Do you know what the secret with curls is you just don't shampoo, really minimal shampoo, because shampoo strips your hair of its natural oils, which keep the curls kind of together and defined. I worked this out myself. No one told me this. Because if you wash it with shampoo, it's just like an afro, like a fluffy poodle afro. And so you never brush it, probably once a month. Once a fortnight, once a month, I'll shampoo it. And then you just let the curls dry naturally. Yeah. So there you go. Tim's hair tips.
Tim's hair tips. Redheaded Michelle wants to know, besides Cassandra...
I love redheads.
Oh, okay. I have a lot of feeling a lot of people are going to be dyeing their hair.
I've got red underarm hair.
Yeah. Interesting,
It's
Tim.
kind of in certain light.
I wonder what the... I wonder what the Australian word is for that. Redheaded Michelle wants to know, besides Cass, who did you enjoy hanging out with in the house?
Oh, do you know what? I loved hanging out with Nikki. Like, you would have seen special moments with Nikki and I just sort of in the room lying on beds together, just listening to Lana Del Rey. Like, we'd kind of have lots of conversations that were outside of the game, which most of the other house guests never were able to do. And that's because of the format that we came from, which wasn't about talking about game. Like, it was about sharing your life, your personality. And so Nikki was a real godsend for me. I'd really enjoy it. Was an escape to chat to her. I really enjoyed hanging out with Joel as well. Sometimes he'd frustrate the hell out of me, but I loved how differently he kind of behaved and saw the world, and that's very refreshing. Yeah.
Jolly Summer Nights wants to know, speaking of Nikki now, do you plan on watching any of Nikki's seasons of Big Brother now that you're out of the house?
That's a great question. Do you know what? I haven't really watched Big Brother since I played it. I don't know if that makes me not really a fan of the show anymore. I watched it growing up religiously, but I think once I've gone through the experience, it would never be the same again. And do you know, I remember the moment I didn't know Nikki's reputation when I went into the BB Can Grand, and we were having a conversation one day, and she was explaining this moment in the diary room that she was famous for, and that was her who is she diary room speech that she won awards for. And I remember seeing it. I remember actually sharing it with a friend going, I wish I was in the Big Brother house with this crazy. And it was just this surreal moment where I went, oh my God, I've seen you. I have actually wanted, like, and it was, that's fate. Like, that, there's got to be some kind of, I don't know, closing doors moment that brought us together. Like, oh, we'll be friends for life. And I think I'd love to see Nikki in action, but nothing's as good as the real thing. Like, that's what Big Brother is about for me. But I don't know.
Fans
live it.
Right. Fans loved seeing you and Nikki together. They loved seeing you and Cassandra together.
Yeah.
Here is basically the number one question that we're getting from so many people on Twitter, in the chat room. Basically, Tim, it's going to be one of your harder questions. A lot of the fans of the show, we loved Cassandra. We loved you and Cassandra together. Obviously, the week that Cassandra went home, then kind of the following week came along, and you were at, it's fine, and you were out of the game. Basically, a lot of people felt like if you were exiting the game to let someone else have it, why did you not do it for Cassandra then the week before, is basically the question. Or would you even say that that's why you left the game? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No. I think those last 2-3 weeks were the biggest kind of period of growth and the development of my Big Brother Canada experience. So it began with having a great alliance that I loved, and it was more than just, I was with really strong players. I believed in the ideology behind the alliance. Like, I kind of formed that myself, that we were sort of misfits, rejected by the group. They didn't see us as strong players, but we were pulling all the strings behind the scenes. And we could have gone final 3. One of us would have won, and if any of us had have won, I would have seen it as a win for me, because I saw the alliance as me. When Joel, for whatever reason, I'm not sure quite what happened there in that popcorn pit of that famous veto competition. It just all came crashing down, and I didn't want to work with an alliance anymore. And it really took me back to Australian Big Brother, where I won by being myself, and I went, this is fucked. I'm so sick of the fakeness, and you can't trust anyone, and something I believed in, something that was so special to me, just was an illusion. And so then I wasn't even really on Cassandra's side that week. Like, I was just about, that's it. It was also confusing, and I was just like, I've just got to get to the end being Tim. And then Joel went home. Cassandra asked me to save her, and I was just like, do you know what? Like, no, I don't trust. I have no alliance with you over anybody else in the house, Cassandra. And I didn't really support the way, her strategy, not her as a person. I would love to have given Cassandra, the person, the chance to win the show. But her strategy, I didn't believe in. It was the reason that my alliance fell down. That same strategy of always having another option, always double crossing the people that you were working with. She was the queen at doing that. And if I had given my place for her, I'd be supporting the reason that made the whole thing fall apart. So at that moment, I couldn't. But then in the few days that after Cassandra left, it was just like I just kind of fell out of love with the format of that I was playing, and I was just so shitty that you could win your way to the final round by just winning a fucking competition that was so easily able to be manipulated or produced. I'm not saying that it was rigged or anything like that, but it's just there's so much luck involved. You turn up to the competition and it favours some people's skills better than others. They knew that I wasn't doing the homework. I said, I'm not going to... Big Brothers for me was never about fucking learning trivia about the game. It's just not ever something you come across in Australian or UK versions. And I knew that it was coming to that. It was kind of like when you know you've got a test and you haven't done the study for it. Everyone said the last comp is going to be trivia about the game. It wasn't me. I'm not gonna do that just to win the game. So in that moment, I went, you know what? You don't actually really want this. Perhaps if I had have come to that understanding a week earlier, it might have been a different decision. But that's the evolution of the decisions that happen. Does that make sense?
No, that makes complete sense. So then let me ask you this. Are you happy with a Brothers win?
Do you know what? It's really surprising to me to find out that they weren't the champions that they thought they were in terms of the eyes of the public. We were constantly told by them that they were the masters of this game, that they had everything under their control, and that Canada loved them because of that vote for HOH that week. I was skeptical of that from the beginning. I don't believe that was actually Canada's choice, but that's the game of Big Brother, that you win some, you lose some. There's a rule in the rule book that Big Brother reserves the right to change the rules at any point, and that is Big Brother. You can't fight those kind of decisions, but it made them believe that they were really loved and that Cassandra would be really hated by the public. And I, in my head, thought different. I thought, no one likes arrogance, and I knew that Cassandra was just going to be such an interesting character, and people like flaws if you can be recognise them. And Cassandra was able to say, yeah, I'm a villain, but the brothers always thought they shit didn't stink. So I don't know. So coming out realising that that not many people were happy with that result, is that my fault? I don't think that's my fault. Like, there's plenty of other people that didn't make it to the end.
Right.
I have a different relationship to the brothers than I guess you may have seen on TV. Like, I kind of, whether it was right or not, I kind of took them under my wing as younger brothers, and I've never had brothers in real life, and I saw aspects of myself in each of them.
Right. And
I know they're annoying. I know they're arrogant little assholes, and I don't know. I saw all that, but I liked them anyway, and it made me happy to see them win. So I don't know. That's, I guess, a personal thing. I don't expect other people to understand that.
No, I think, first of all, I think everyone's allowed to have their Big Brother opinion, and I don't think any of us understand what it's like for you guys that are actually in there playing the game. All I say is, I say it every season, every cast, by Christmas, you'll all be friends regardless, mark my words. Here is a question from Lavita87 on Twitter, and says, Tim, if you could have brought anybody to the actually, she says, if you had to pick between Cassandra and the brothers, who would you pick? But we also have a ton of people wanting to know, who would you have taken if you could have taken anyone? So, if you had to pick between Cassandra and the brothers, who are you taking?
That's a really tricky question. It's going to get me into a lot of trouble.
Oh, then I'm glad I asked. Good one.
That would be a really, really tough decision for me. Put Kelsey in the mix. That's easy. I would have never taken Kelsey, even though I knew I could have beat her hands down. I guess Cassandra, because
You guessed.
she was loyal to me the whole show. I know. But I think I always wanted the brothers to win. Isn't that weird?
That is weird based on what you
People
just said.
People will hate me for that. But yeah, I probably would have taken Cassandra.
Oh, so now
Just to beat her, yes. Yeah, okay.
just to beat her.
You realize I've got all these questions. I've got to take myself back to that moment because I mean, it's a month since the show finished, and I've come home and nobody down here is talking about it. So it's like it never happened. Like it's weird. It's kind of like a dream. I'm going, does that happen? And then I go online on Twitter. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, it actually was real.
Oh, it happened.
I lost $100,000. Great.
But you got Maple out of it, and you made great friends. And I have a feeling you'll be back. I have a feeling
I will.
you'll be back.
Yes, I definitely will be back.
If you could have taken anybody then, so not between just Cassandra
okay.
and the brothers, so many people are asking that question, who would you have wanted to go all the way with?
I don't think that way. That's what's really hard for me to answer these questions is it's not, for me, it's never about your competition. It's never about who's standing next to you, as long as kind of like, I'm a one-man, like, show, a one-horse race. I don't actually care who was sitting next to me. So it's just a personal thing. Who would I like to be sitting next to? It's not about who could I beat. Nikki would have been amazing, and I did talk about that with Big Brother a lot, that I would say, what would you do if I took Nikki to the end? Canada would be in uproar. Like, what would have happened? And that was one of my plans because I knew that I would win against Nikki, but that to me is the weak choice. Like, it's cowardly to kind of take. I mean, perhaps if Canada was voting for the winner, which they do in Australia and the UK, me against Nikki might have won, but I knew in terms of strategy in the house, the other house guests would never have chosen Nikki to win. But I think just as an up yours to this version of Big Brother, I would have loved to have taken Nikki to the end and just said sucked in, like, you should have never chose us as wild cards.
Yeah, let's
They
do
would have
this.
hated it.
Let's do this, Tim. You got hundreds and hundreds of people in the chat room right now. Chat room, you guys, and I'll tell Tim what the final verdict is by guessing. Put one in the chat room if you would have voted for Tim, although I'm sure that's where that's going. 2 if you would have voted for Nikki. So 1 if you would have voted for Tim, 2 if you would have voted for Nikki, and I will let you know what they say in a minute, Tim, while you're answering. BB Watcher 17 over on Twitter wants to know, Tim, are you going to watch Big Brother 18, the United States Big Brother that's airing in like 2 weeks? And given the chance to play again, would you?
Do you know what? I've heard a lot about this Big Brother 18. I just don't follow it like that. Like, I think, and would I ever play again? Of course I would. I'm obsessed with Big Brother in a very different way, not in the TV show way, just in the experience. I think it's like a life experience for me, a little retreat where everything else in your life is removed. So you get all this freedom and space in your head to kind of, I don't know, it's like free therapy and life experience that people will pay thousands of dollars for. And in a few years' time, I'll probably need that again, and I'll say yes. But I think the skill or talent of the game, whatever it is that I have, I don't really even know what makes me so good at it. But I think it's got something to do with the naivety about when I'm in that experience, I'm not thinking about how I'm being portrayed. And so if I was to watch myself or if I was to watch how other people do it, it's the same reason why I don't follow anyone on Instagram. I don't want my life to be influenced by what other people are doing. I'm not interested in what other people are doing. I want Tim, the person that you see to be true, authentic Tim, and really natural, and I'll do things differently because I'm not aware of how you're supposed to do life. Like that's, so if I was to watch how they did it in the US, I think I'd kind of go, oh, is that what you're supposed to do? Like, oh. So then if I was to play in the game, yeah, I don't know. I like being a bit naive to it.
I know exactly what you mean, Tim. Actually, I know exactly what you mean by not watching other things so that you don't get influenced. But I would give anything to watch you play our Big Brother, Tim. I think it would be amazing. By the way, chat room, not surprising, verdict came in. Of course they picked you, Tim. It is chat room of Tim Benn.
Cool.
I am sick and
He's good too.
Nikki, we love Nikki. I am sick and twisted wants to know, or wants me to tell you that Ben is her favorite human. And did you always, from the time you entered the house, know that you would do noms the BB Australian way, or did you decide after you became HOH?
Ben is the best. Actually, he's annoying. He's an awful human being, but I love him. He's hard to love, but we are going to be mates forever. Anyway, you've got to watch my version of Australian Big Brother if you don't. My season, if you don't know who Ben is.
Oh, we do.
But you do know. Yes. Sorry, I'm just patting my dog. I'm getting dog hair everywhere. What was it? What was the second half of the question? Did I know about the koalas? No, I didn't. I actually didn't. I'd never even really known what HOH was or what the rules were, and I had to kind of ask Big Brother, was I allowed to do things that way? And then when I was given, you get lollies as HOH, and I got the gummy bears, the gummy koalas, and I just thought I need some kind of way to do a tally system, and I did ask Big Brother for a whiteboard and a marker. And he was like, no, you're not allowed writing implements. And then I thought, what the hell am I going to use? And then I saw them and I was like, oh, shit, that's brilliant. Yeah, it's Australian. So I never really thought of it, but I watched people make mistakes. And Levita's HOH twice, she made the same mistake, where you can't appease everyone by picking one thing of what somebody wants to do. And that's what everyone was doing. It's like they'd ask everyone what they wanted and then pick one. And so everybody else would be against you. And I was like, well, obviously you just make it so it's a unanimous decision on the house. So no one's really at fault, and especially me, my hands are clean. Mm-hmm. So, and it actually worked better than I thought, because it was the week that I kind of split up Dallas and Maddie, and that growing alliance of Ramsey and Joel was in the wings waiting to sort of join up. So, yeah, I feel as though it was a successful HOH.
I thought it was.
I don't know if that's how you do it. I wasn't going to do it again that way the second time.
Oh, that's good to know. I was going to ask you that. Yeah. Rafe, Big Brother fan, wants to know, Tim, is there one specific thing, if you had to pick one specific thing in terms of gameplay to do completely different for any reason, if you just wanted to screw with somebody or you thought it would help your game, what would it be?
That's a good one. I might have kept Joel instead of Cassandra that week that I don't know. What do you mean, change my game?
Is there anything that you would just change?
Probably not.
I didn't think that you would.
No regrets. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm getting a ton of questions. Heather McGuire, one of our patrons, wants to know. I think, Little Big Red in the chat room. Can you tell people a little bit about the Happiness Project that you are doing with Ben?
Well, yeah, it's a web series that you can check out on YouTube. I think the links are on my profiles on Instagram. You can click the video link. It's such a long story. Back in the Big Brother house, I was talking to Ben, who I thought was the deserved winner. What would he do if he won the money? He said he'd take his mum to Graceland because he's a huge Elvis fan. Mm-hmm. I was like, what? Why would you take your mum? He's like, I don't have any friends. I was like, we're mates now. And he's so different to me, extreme introvert, manic depressive, and I'm just like, ah! So after the show, we kind of we both worked in TV for a bit, and it was kind of we were both really happy, and then the dust sort of settled for Ben, and he went through a real rough patch, and he actually tried to take his own life, and I was like, mate, far out, I've got to do something. Do you want to go to Graceland? Let's do this. As a kind of a bucket list sort of you're not giving up until you do this holiday with me. And then we crowdfunded to get a camera crew to come with us, and we filmed it all, and they made this web series out of it. And it was such an amazing time. Like, it was so funny. I thought that he'd have the most amazing experience and be like, oh, I'm happy now. I don't want to kill myself anymore. But it was just so stupid of me. What he actually was really great was that we could have gone anywhere. It was more just that we did this trip together, and he saw the value of kind of connecting with people and not locking himself in his apartment, and I kind of got such a rush out of learning what he was passionate about, and that was Elvis. Like, I'm the biggest Elvis fan now. I love it. And this little web series, like, it aired in Australia during Mental Health Week, and we've just had such amazing responses from people who, not only people who might have struggled with depression or anxiety, but people like me who know people who do but don't really know how to deal with them, because it's tough, and there's no right answers other than just be there, just be a friend, be in their life. And so we hope to go on many more adventures. There's talk about a trip to India. And Ben's doing really well now. He came back from that Graceland trip, and he got a job, and he lives up in Brisbane, which is about a 2-hour flight from Sydney where I am. So I see him sort of a few times every few months, but he's doing really well now, and it's great. Like, I don't know whether it all kind of helped him, but sometimes in life I think you just need to sort of have a wild sort of adventure that takes you out of your comfort zone. That's sort of, I don't know, like we all need to be shaken up now and again, and I think I'm really passionate about helping people like that kind of get stuck in a rut, and that's what I want to create more stories like that. So check out the Graceland Happiness Project, because, I'm really proud of it. So proud of it.
Like Tim said, it's on his Twitter. We'll, of course, put the links below this show as well.
Cool. Oh, thank you.
Oh, we'll talk about that more at the end. But yeah, we do a ton for mental health awareness as well, which is why I loved when I found that whole aspect out about you. New Jersey Girl over on Twitter wants to know, Tim, is there any aspect from the Big Brother Canada game that you think would be cool if they took and implemented into Big Brother Australia game?
Such a great question. I've got a meeting next week. I shouldn't say. I really would love for a Big Brother in Australia to come back. It's not on air at the moment. It kind of went through sort of like a bit of a rough patch after me, and I think it does need a bit of a shake up itself. And I would love to sort of suggest that we kind of merge the two formats, and that there is like power of veto comps and there is HOH. But I think there still needs to be the element of the viewers having a say each week as well. I don't know how it would work really, but that's the brilliance of the Australian and UK version, is that the viewers get to decide who do they want to see, and it means that the house guests are unaware really of who's liked and who's not on the outside, because they don't have any control, they don't have any power. We just kind of we were at the will of the voting public. So, and it kind of makes people be more real. I think when you have control and you're able to lie and deceive, you don't see real personalities as such, and people, I don't know, get away with it a lot more. And you get winners that the public aren't happy with.
Right.
So I think, I as much as I hated the competitions, I think they're so much fun for the house guests, but it's an added element of your fate in the game, like that. I don't know.
Well, I think a lot of people in the chat room will know exactly what I'm talking about. They could have It's Australia's Choice. In America, we have America's Choice, where we get to vote on really important things in the house, like, are they going to get lollipops or fish sticks for the week? Like, stuff like that.
Right.
But if you're in control, Tim, I'm sure it will be much better. I'm sure they will have much better choices. I know we have only about like 15 minutes left. I want to throw, since we only have like 15 minutes left, let me remind everyone, number one fan, which right now is still RJ Mitchell, is going to win Tim's autograph. But I'm going to throw some questions at you that you can answer quickly, Tim. Are you ready?
Okay. Yep.
From Bruno's Thumb, boxers or briefs?
Briefs.
Interesting. Debbie McDougal, single or not? You can pass.
Oh, I was supposed to be quick. It's supposed to be quick. I'm not.
Not single. Okay, boop, we're pausing the quick questions. Tim, what's going on in your personal life? Are you and Cassandra getting married?
No, not at all. But she has been messaging me a lot lately and being like, "Oh, never forget me, Tim." I'm like, "Who? Who's this? Go away." No.
Oh, interesting. Well, now
I do love Cassandra. I won't ever forget her.
Okay. I don't know if you'll be allowed to hold that thought. No. Della Gordon wants to know, Tim, will you marry me?
Maybe.
She's Canadian, so if you need citizenship.
Oh, I like that. Mm-hmm. Do you have a pet moose? I'd like some Canadian pets.
Tim, I'm glad you brought that up. I have a very serious question for you from Giselle, BB18 in the chat room. Wants to know, Marsha the moose or Giselle the giraffe? So are you picking a moose or a giraffe if you just had to pick between the two randomly?
The moose, yeah, Marsha.
Okay. All right, that's good. It's a good choice, Tim. Sherry Blackberry wants to know, are you going to get a new spider, a new marinara?
Oh, do you know what? We don't need any pets in the Australian, any spiders as pets, because they live in a house. Like, there's probably like a huntsman, which is like a giant sort of tarantula-sized spider in my kitchen. They live everywhere. I'm not afraid of spiders.
But you have no desire to put one in a jar and call it marinara. Tim, you could sell that on eBay. You can make a lot of money. Just call it marinara and...
No. All
right, fine.
We didn't know if marinara was even getting any airtime. Like, we thought it was just like something fun for us to do. So it's so funny to hear that people know about marinara. I forget that there's live feeds.
Oh, there's live feeds. I like how many people in the chat room are saying, Tim, you can pet me. Creepy. Tim, Jack Skinner wants to know, Tim, what is your view on Kelsey, and do you think she could have won the game?
No, Kelsey could never have won the game. Although, I mean, she had the guaranteed votes of her little alliance, but I just don't think anybody else gave her the credit. Do you know what? I actually think she did play a better game than the brothers. I mean, at the end of the day, if like the brothers did all the work, but they were doing the work for Kelsey, then doesn't that make Kelsey smarter than them? So if I had to vote, well, I did, and I voted for the brothers. What an idiot. What a dumb conversation. What a dumb thing to say. But it was a tough choice because I think Kelsey deserved it more. It was just that I like the brothers more as winners, like as a friend level. Kelsey, yeah, do you know what? Kelsey was a lot like the girl that came second in my series. Jade, very lovely, just had that power over the guys because of their sparkly vagina. Like, I don't think that deserves to win Big Brother. And it's just annoying in life that those kind of people just get anything they want. Like, they can have any job they want because they just batter their eyelids and shine the light between their legs, and guys will just crawl on their hands and knees for them. I just think, I don't know, that doesn't deserve to win Big Brother. But if that's a strategy, then I guess it's smart. That's what women do sometimes to control men.
Okay, Tim, then I'm going to ask you this. Shag, marry, kill. Okay, so who are you having sex with, marrying, and killing? Cassandra, Nikki, and Kelsey.
Okay. I'll have to kill Cassandra. God, I think that's an easy one. I'd love to do all three to her at the same time. What order? No, you kill last, obviously. No one ever has sex with a dead body. Anyway, what am I talking about?
Some people do.
This is what happens when you ask me to think on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Rubbish comes out. Okay, I'd marry Nikki. We could be together forever.
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves Shag Kelsey with her sparkly vagina. Yeah, I like that.
Tim, I don't want to tell you how perfect you and Cassandra are for each other, but we played the same game with Cassandra, and guess what? She chose you, all three. All three. She picked you for all three. Just what you wanted to do, Tim. I'm just saying, I think you two are a little too much alike.
I know.
Here's a totally random question, Tim. It has nothing to do with Big Brother. We'll give you a Big Brother break for this one. You have to go on a desert island. I won't even make you pick three. What's one thing you're going to make sure that you bring with you? Unless you can think of three off the top of your head. But at least one.
I was going to say like my iPod, but there's no like where to charge it. So no, not that. Maybe like practical things like a knife, fishing rod. No, nothing. I'd make my own tools. Nothing. My dog. Yeah, Meatloaf. Then I'd have to take the other one, Maple.
Oh, no. You
go to deserted island.
So we know who you're picking with Sophie's Choice. Apparently Maple's out. You're only taking one. Okay, go. Sorry, Maple.
She's in the other room.
You can send Maple over here. We'll take care of Maple for you. I actually love this question from Jack Skinner. Says, Tim, which version of Big Brother, Australia or Canada, had a larger impact on like your view of society?
Wow. What a very good question.
I thought so too.
Oh, God. I think both the same. Like, it really does. That's exactly what Big Brother is for me, is a kind of like interpretation of larger society and what people, perhaps the Canadian version, because it does kind of allow for people to do things like nasty things that they probably wouldn't do in real life. Right. Yeah, and then watching people that make that decision and the regret that they feel and yeah.
So Canadian.
Good question.
Go with Canadian. We'll totally go with Canadian. People are saying they loved him, that you are not holding back at all. A lot of people wanting to know when you're going to visit Canada again. Tim already answered that in the beginning. Go check that out. A lot of people want to know, did you adopt Maple?
Did I adopt her? No.
That's okay.
I bought her. Oh, yeah, God. Whoops, sorry. So I've got a funny thing about this, which is going to get me into a lot of trouble. I'm all for rescuing dogs. right? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying don't go to a rescue, but people don't just dump French Bulldog puppies. Like, you don't find French Bulldog puppies at a pound. In the same way, when people have babies, I don't go, oh, that's lovely, did you adopt? There's a lot of babies around the world that need a home, but no, like, it's like, I don't tell you not to breed, so don't tell me not to buy a puppy from a breeder. So I needed to get a puppy because like Meatloaf's very sort of a bit selfish. He's an only child, so I wanted to kind of have them grow up together, and he's really good with Maple already, but I was worried about getting an adult dog. So, and I love French Bulldogs. I just love them. So, but I do a lot of support work for the RSPCA here in Australia. So I think it's great if you can get a rescue dog, get a rescue dog. But I don't,
No, I'm the same exact way.
Yeah.
I completely agree for the same reason. I want a very specific dog for my dog, and it needs to be a hypoallergenic. You can't necessarily find that, but yes, rescuing is, a great way to go. So I completely agree with you, Tim. All right. We also took some video questions, Tim, is what I'm saying for you. So I have a very special video question for you that I'm going to pull up. It is from one of arguably your biggest fans, Tim.
Hi, Tim. Sorry, I'm really nervous right now. Like, I was your biggest fangirl, and I actually... but I found a picture of you on the internet and I printed it out and I put it above my bed. And every night before I go to bed, I kiss it and hope, I dream that one day I'll meet you and get your autograph and maybe get you to like sign my boob or something. But I just wanted to say that I thought you were the best player. I just had a few questions. What was your favorite part about playing Big Brother Canada? Was it playing with Cassandra? And what was your biggest regret? Was it killing your spider marinara and not really realizing that Cassandra could win it? I'm just so nervous because I love you so much and I'm your biggest fan, and I just hope one day I can meet you and Team Cassandra forever. Bye, bitch. Just kidding, I love you.
Tim, rebuttal?
Oh, she's just brilliant, isn't she? That's what I love about her. And that first night, I laid in bed next to her and rolled over, and she said something really creepy like, "I'm going to cut a lock of your hair." And she was just staring at me, and I was so scared. Like, I'd walked into something, I had no idea what I was doing, and I just thought, you're crazy enough to be able to handle me. We're going to be in this game for a long time. I knew that moment. And, when I see that, I just think, God, she should have won. Maybe that is a regret that I didn't help make that happen. But you know what? It's for me, it's not so much about winning. Cassandra's legacy to this season will be that she was the one that everyone wanted to win. And that kind of means a lot. Like, I've done another reality show where I came second, and everybody on the street says, "Oh, you should have won. You should have won." And it's kind of like, it's bittersweet that you don't take home the prize or the title, but it's nice to know that people recognise that you deserved it. So, and Cassandra will get that forever. So, Cassandra, I am your biggest fan, and I always have been. So, yeah, I don't think it's the end of Cassandra in reality TV. She's one of those ones that just can handle it. And she went through a lot of shit in the BB Can Grand. Like, people said awful things to her, and she's very strong. You don't often get chicks that are hot, smart, and, confident. So she's got it all.
She definitely has it
Except
all.
me.
Except you. Oh, that's true. Except you, Tim. All right. Last question. I mean, Tim, I literally, when I say over 1,000 questions I think we had for you, it is impossible to go through all of them. I'm going to end with this one from Big Zilla, who wants to know if you had to play any Big Brother, whichever one you want, Australia, Canada, ours, the way the brothers did. So in other words, you're playing with somebody else, and you can pick who that other person is, who would you pick to go through the game with? And then if either of you are out, you're both out.
I couldn't do it. There's just no bloody way in hell that would ever happen. I just... we would kill each other. It just would never happen.
Your
There's not anyone.
Your dogs were both kidnapped. We're now holding your dogs. The only way you get your dogs back is if you pick someone to go through Big Brother with. Who are you going with it through?
Okay, I get, obviously, Cassandra. Cassandra.
Oh, really? You would pick Cassandra?
Yeah, I think we were actually a good little team. We were. If I wholeheartedly trusted her, I think it would have been a different result. I just didn't ever wholeheartedly trust her. And maybe, did I have reason to not trust her? A lot of people are saying yes. She always told me no. I've heard that when she was crying for me to kind of give my place for her, I'd leave the room and she'd kind of laugh and go, "Oh, that idiot, he didn't fall for it." So maybe I was right to not give my place to her. So I don't know. I hope that we do get to play again together. I don't know if that would ever happen, but yeah.
I will say this, unless I'm completely wrong, and I do have a bad memory, I'm pretty sure the feeds were off. So if it was fans telling you that happened, I don't know that's true. And some fans
right.
make up reasons to talk to people that aren't necessarily
true. Maybe that's the case.
But Tim, let's talk about the places where people can talk to you. All of Tim's social media is going to be below this video on the edited version later tonight. But Tim, for the people that might only be listening to the audio, where do you want them to contact you on social media?
Come to Australia. Come and meet me in person. You can stay at my house. No, oh, look, I'm sorry if I'll always get back to you because I'm a bit funny with social media. I'm like, sometimes I love it, sometimes I hate it. The best way...
Twitter,
I don't know.
Instagram.
Just try and... I like answering real questions. So if you capture me, if I'm scrolling through and you just get me, then I'll give you a lot of time. So don't just ask me the same old shit. Like,
Right.
Or Twitter or Instagram. Private message sometimes I'll go through, but I hate like people saying, "What was your favourite thing about Big Brother?" or "Do you wish you had won?" Like all that sort of stuff. I just like meh, boring next. But if I don't know, tell me something about your life.
So you would say on Twitter, though. On Twitter.
Yes.
Is where you're going to want it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I guess that's the best. Yeah.
Okay, we'll put Tim's stuff below this video. And, of course, the project that you were working on with Ben, we'll have the link to that YouTube below this video. But, Tim, you have thousands of people watching you just live. What do you want to say to your fans, all the people right now in the chat room, everybody watching you? What do you want to say to all of your fans?
That's a lot of pressure.
Well, do it.
Don't forget to wipe your bum 3 times. I only learnt that last year. I got skids in my undies because I was only doing it once. And then some of my friends were like, once? No, you wipe more than once, Tim. So that's a good life lesson if your parents haven't taught you that, because mine didn't. I would say thank you for your support. And I know that I'm a little bit hard to understand sometimes, and maybe if you had wanted me to win Big Brother Canada, know that I'm really happy with what happened. So if you are a fan of mine, then you should be happy that I'm happy. And yay, we like, it's not the end. There'll be plenty more like adventures. So don't get upset.
Don't worry, there is tons more, Tim, to come. Tim, I will tell you what I never learned. My family never told me this either. I don't know if you have it in Australia, those paper things that you put on the toilet bowl with the flap.
Yeah.
Did you know that the flap goes in the front, not in the back? The little flap part goes in the front. I've been putting it in the back my whole life. I only recently learned the flap goes in the front. So I hear you, Tim.
So you were getting splashback, a lot of splashback happening.
Yeah, I guess.
Why would you need it at the front, though? Because boys don't sit down to wee. So.
Well, it's if you're sitting down to do something else, you don't want your thing to touch the toilet bowl. That'd be gross. So you need like a wax protector there. I just never knew.
Maybe you never realized because you've got a...
No, it's just the opposite, Tim. I realized because I found out that, oh my God, all this time, maybe that's why I had problems. Or the other one, whatever. Tim, we love you. And hey, Tim, guess who's going to be here next Tuesday? Arissa Cox is going to be right here on this show doing cast assessment. So come back, Tim.
You know, I might, because I had a great chat with her at the wrap party and she gave me a lovely little present, and she's so interesting a person. Like, I didn't know. It's like so interesting. I love Arissa. Yeah.
Well, Arissa is the best. Everybody watching, she will be here next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do the Big Brother 18 cast assessment. Tim, Bruno's Thumb is your #1 fan. If you want to say thanks to Bruno's Thumb.
Oh, thank you. And congrats. Did they win something?
They're getting your autograph. The one that you signed in the house. So yay.
Oh, congrats. Thanks for being a fan. You're a friend, not a fan. I don't like the word fan.
Tim, it's like we're soulmates. You're saying all the things that I say. I love it. All right, everybody. We will see you later, everybody. Thanks. Bye, Meatloaf. Bye, everybody. We'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody.
Hey, just kidding. I love you.